93 days ago, I started on a journey that I had never done before. And it wasn't a physical journey, it was really a mental journey. It was a commitment journey. It was an intention that I had that I wanted to be able to really do a deep dive into the work of somebody whose work I've respected for quite a while. So what I did was I went and I got all of his books, and I decided that each day I was going to either read part of the book or I was going to listen to an audio of the book. So in addition to the books, I also bought all the audios of the books. So I have been in a deep dive of Gary John Bishop's work for the past 93 days. Today is day 93. I planned this out 93 days ago where I would complete that kind of journey on my 65th birthday. Today I turn 65 years young. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of spend like 3 months and 3 days worth of my life really thinking about what was it I wanted to do going forward. What did I want to do in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, as long as I could. And being somebody that's been a professional development junkie ever since I was a teenager, I've read probably the best of the best books that are out there. And I found that I would go from one book to the next, and I would enjoy doing it, but that's what would happen is I would read them, but I wouldn't tend to do the work. And I think that's one of the things that we all kind of know, where we want to supposedly make a change in our life, but we don't necessarily do what they suggest that we do. So I said, okay, if I take that amount of time and I dig in deep and I really read and I really listen to what Gary shares, something's going to happen. Something's going to open up. And in fact, what's happened over the 93 days, a lot of things have opened up. A lot of things have happened because his work is very powerful. It's very elemental. I'm not going to review each book and tell you what's in each particular book. I'm going to say, like anything else, it's sort of be like if I told you what to eat or what to how to exercise or some other thing that had to do with your health and wellness. You know what to do. Whether you do it or not is another issue. The same thing's really with Gary's work. It's not that what he's telling you is so new, but it's said in a way that really, if you stay open to it, you will actually get something from it that you've maybe never heard before. And that's why I like to read it, and I also like to listen to it, because I'm telling you, if you read and listen to something that you really respect, you will get something from it by doing both of those things. You will get something that you never heard before when you read it, and you'll hear something that you never got when you read it. It's fascinating. And sometimes what I'll actually do is I will read the book at the same time I'm listening to the book. And the other thing why I did this over that amount of time, it doesn't take 93 days to read his 4 books. It doesn't take that long. But what I found was, depending on where my head was at, depending on what my mood was at, depending what was going on in my life, I could pick up that same book as well 3 weeks later, and I'm seeing something or hearing something I'd never heard before. So what I'm most pleased about is not only what I got from doing that journey, but I got so many DMs from people that said, I liked what you were sharing, I looked into what he was doing, I listened to a podcast, I watched a YouTube video, I bought his book, or I bought his audio. I don't know how many people are willing to take the 93 days that I did. Maybe no one will, but I'm really excited that there are so many people that picked up on what I was sharing and learning, that they're doing that for themselves. And everybody's journey, if you do that, is totally different. So I want to just introduce you to the books. You can go to GaryJohnBishop.com and you can find all of his books. If you don't want to buy his books, you can watch his watch his YouTube videos. You can listen to his podcasts. You can hear him being interviewed by other people. If you don't want to spend a dime, you don't have to do any of that. But I suggest that you actually buy a book, highlight the hell out of the book if something speaks to you, put your own notes in there, and like exercise, you want to go back and do it again. To me, his work is like breathing. It's not that it's a one and done. You don't just decide, well, I've breathed today, and I don't need to breathe tomorrow. No, you breathe every single day. His work will breathe a whole new way of looking at your life and what's possible. So the first book that he wrote is called Unfuck Yourself. Get out of your head and into your life. Incredible book, powerful book, strong foundational primer. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you everything's in here. It doesn't take long to read these books. They are very quick and to the point. He does not waste your time with a lot of platitudes and ridiculous things. He gets real clean and crisp. That's the first book. The second book, I listened to this today, started early this morning on the treadmill. I probably now listened to this book a dozen times easily. The book's highlighted the hell out of it. I love this book because not only does he get you to, as he says here, the title of the book, stop doing that shit, end self-sabotage and demand your life back. He introduces 3 saboteurs that you will discover that are really running the show in your head. Very important second book. Now, full disclosure, he has a workbook here called Do the Work. I have not done this yet. I started it, but I haven't done it yet. That's the next thing that I'm going to do, and you'll hear this when I wrap this up in a couple minutes about why I'm doing this now. So that is right after these 2 books here. You can do this if you want to, or like I did, I just kept reading the books, and I'm going to come back to this. Third book, Wise as Fuck. Simple truths to guide you through the shitstorms of life. Amazing. Really powerful book, especially if you've had a major loss in your life, maybe it's a relationship loss, maybe it's a loss of a loved one. The book's very critical, very powerful. Each of these books, you can get a lot from them separately. You don't have to read them all. I just recommend that if you start with one, I have a funny feeling you're going to want to read them all. That's what happened to me as well. The other one is the last book that I've got. I think there's another one he came out with. I have not gotten it yet, but this is the last one I had, called Love Unfucked. If you know my life in terms of Kim and I, we've been together 42 years. We will be married 43 years in October. We've been together for like 5 years. We've been almost together for a half a century. Not perfect. Sometimes we've had to mud wrestle over things. But even though I have a really great relationship with Kim and the kids, Matthew and Jennifer, I found that this book was great. It really set my mind in a new place to really think about what else could I do to be better in terms of being a husband, in terms of being a dad. This is really saying getting your relationship shit together. Great book. Love this book. Incredible. So this is the workbook. I have this resistance a lot of times to actually do work. It's for some reason that's like a 4-letter word to me. I don't know why, but I don't know why. But I'm going to crack that in here. It's not that I don't do things. I'm always busy. I'm always working. But the actual word of work seems to set something off for me, triggers something for me. I'm going to be doing this next. I'll be back and sharing with you guys what I got from this particular book and the exercise I get in it. And last but not least, what I'm doing right now is not, I'm not done. I did this for 93 days intensive. This for me is actually the beginning. I decided in the beginning of the year I wanted to select 5 mentors that I was going to have on my self-selected mentor team, whether I ever talked to them, met them, or whatever. And Gary is the very first person that I decided this year is going to be my very first mentor, that I will be connected into his work the rest of my life. So in actuality, I did this deep dive to get my head into place to say, is this the guy that I want to have as being on my mentor team? Yes, he's the very first one. I have 4 others that I have in mind, and when I go forward with their work, and whether I do it 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, maybe 120 days, I don't know. After I go through that process, at the end of it, I'll decide whether or not I want them to be on my team. My mentor team is kind of like a mastermind. So that's one of the things that I decided, how would I select these particular people? I wanted to really make sure that I understand what they were saying. Is it something that I could be excited and proud and share with other people? And definitely all of Gary's work, I feel that way. So I also am doing my best to see what I can do with my schedule and Gary's schedule. Hopefully sometime in the fall, I will have him come on and be a guest on Going Beyond the Scale on my podcast. He's busy this summer with a lot of things that he's doing. He's extremely accomplished, busy man. I think he's also trying to take some time off as well, which a lot of people are doing during the summer. So stay tuned for more as you see me posting on my different social media feeds in terms of what I'm doing with Gary's work. And importantly, please, whatever you can do. You want to start with this book? Fine. You want to go and stop doing that shit? Fine, go for it. If you want to go to this book, go for it. If you really are looking for something and maybe you don't have a great relationship, or you do have a great relationship, you want to do something more with it, go here. And for some people, you might want to dig right into this right away. I've done a lot of self-awareness work. I've done a lot of coaching and navigating people, so I've lived in this place before. But like anything, I know taking Gary's approach and doing a deeper dive in here, I'm going to get a lot from it. So stay tuned to that. So that's it for right now. I am so excited for everything that I got from the 93 days. And I want to hopefully hear more people DMing me or making comments about the fact that you finally decided, after you've heard this, me driving this more and more again, that you went and got some of his work and it really made a difference for you. So anyway, till next time, hope you have a great day. Do the best that you can do and whatever you want to create in your life. And I look forward to continuing the conversation and dialogue with you guys. So thanks again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.